Well, good morning, everyone, and welcome to our Thursday morning training call. It's September 25th, a great day, and we want to welcome all of you here. And Gregory and Robin are on a wonderful family vacation trip, and I'm sure that they're enjoying their time with their family. They're actually over in Italy, so we can all say, wave to them and say, hello, everyone. So glad to have you here. And this morning, backed by popular demand, Connie Lucas had done a presentation on Monday night that was really, really outstanding. And so we felt that it was so important that we're going to replay that here this morning. So at the end, we're not going to have any Q&A today, but if you have some needs, reach out to your upline leader and they can help you. So with that, I'm going to share, and let me go to share and which one I want to share. I'm going to share the audio sound, optimize. Okay.
Welcome, everybody. Welcome to the Live Younger Community Call. For those of you that I've never met, I'm Connie Lucas, Senior Presidential Director with LifeWave. And I'm happy to be here to host for Robin and Gregory while they are taking a well-deserved family vacation over to Italy for a couple of weeks. So Gregory picked out this clip, and for many of you, you might recall that last week on the community call, many people came in and spoke about an event, a training event with Marcus Setta and teammates over in Dallas. And people talked about the things they learned, what they got out of that, about getting a mentor, being coached, all the different things that they got of value out of that event. And so Gregory took a look at the replay, and we took a snippet out, a 15-minute snippet on a training that Marcus Setta does called View from the Edge. Now, this is something that SPD Janet Kiefer has attended. This is something that he is going to make available to the public, a whole training series on this planned on for the spring. But we wanted to give you a snippet of this piece. Now, I want to preface a couple of things before we get into the video. And one of the things that I want to talk about is the fact that he is speaking in this training to people that have shown up, relationship marketing, network marketers, business people that have shown up who want to build organizations. So when you listen to this, please remember that when he's talking about the situations and giving his coaching and trainings, that he's not talking about customers. He's not talking about the people you make as customers. He is talking in a way about people that, as he says, as he's flipping cards and he's talking about twos or threes, sometimes these are people that come in just for the product, or they come in and they're just hanging around the community and utilizing the product, and they really aren't maybe going to build or don't build. So really understand the preface of who he's talking about. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to have Liz share this screen. We're going to go ahead and play this 15 minutes. I'm going to play it the whole way through, and I'm not going to break it down. I just want you to take some little nuggets and notes. Things I want you to listen to are going to be things like work where it's deserved, not where it's needed. This is a key point in building depth in an organization. And I actually heard Meredith Burkage say this to the SPDs the last time we had a get together and a training. She says, work where it's deserved, not where it's needed. And we'll talk a little bit about that after. I also want to mention something he's going to say at the end, which is there are 3 rules to being successful in this business. One is pay attention, follow the leader, pay attention, get excited, and never quit. These are the three main rules. So as we go into this, again, we're going to hit on some of the nuggets and discuss them for a few minutes after, but we just wanted to give everybody the opportunity to listen to what it takes to actually build an organization that can change you, that can have life-changing lifestyle changing income that can, many of us show up and we have dreams and we have goals and we have things that we want to hit, but we don't quite know what we're looking for in building a solid organization. And he's going to talk about that. And for some of you who have been around the industry for a while, you've been in for a minute, you're going to get a lot of laughs because some of the things he talks about, we all know. We've been there, we've seen that, we've done it. And so sit back, enjoy this entertaining clip. So Liz, if you could pop up that video and share that, that would be very, very helpful.
So the mindset, the posture is, I'm going to do this no matter what. I'm going to get to the top rank in the company. I'm going to be whatever the highest threshold you can get to is, no matter what. So if you get started, great. If you don't get started, great. I'd love to have you. I'd love to help you be one of my top people. But if not for you, that's great. Now, what people don't understand, again, I'm referencing networking, but it's true of all businesses, is the way you build a big team is not by getting thousands of excellent people. So I want to talk about a deck of cards. In a deck of cards, right, we have 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, Jack, Queen, King, Ace, correct? You're all familiar with that? So let's say the ultimate thing you're looking for in building a sales team, building an organization is an ace. Can we say that? Let me define an ace, okay? There are, in general, these categories of people. There's high maintenance and low maintenance people, correct? How many ever saw Harry Met Sally? If you haven't seen that, no wonder you're not rich yet. You got to watch movies like that, okay? And Harry Met Sally, it doesn't matter. They talk about high maintenance, low maintenance. So let me talk about business right now. In your business, you have low maintenance, low production. They don't do anything, but they're not a pain in your ass. So they're not bad, but they're there. They don't do anything much, but they don't take any of your time. So that's one category. Then you have high maintenance, high volume. They drive you out of your mind. They are always, always, always doing something. They're like your child that's always in trouble, or they're someone who's constantly wearing you out, needs to talk to you 14 times a day, but they produce a lot of volume, so we put up with it. Then you have high maintenance, low volume. These are the people that cause us to want to jump off a building. Okay, and listen, if you have a high maintenance, low volume, if you have a bunch of those people, you will probably end up quitting. If you're working with the wrong people, nothing will make you want to quit more than working with high maintenance, low volume people. So what we're looking for is low maintenance, high volume. Can you get that? Low maintenance, high volume. They produce all day long and they never need you. You want to have passive residual income? You need some low maintenance, high volume people. Now here's the thing. When I was new, I just thought, well, I'll just get hundreds or thousands of those people. That is not possible because there are not that many of them around. These are very rare individuals. So as I went into building, most of the groups I built of thousands, tens of thousands of people, I had 10 or less aces. But if you can go through a lot of cards, I mean a lot of cards, and you find a handful of aces. If most companies, if you have 1 or 2 aces, 2 or 3 aces, that's enough to get you a very, very solid income. Here's the problem. How many cards do you have to go through to find your first ace? Okay, I used to tell people it's called, the network marketing is really called multi-level marketing. So most people in multi-level marketing don't have enough levels and they're multi-level. Okay, they're doing level marketing. They're bringing people in and they don't do anything. So you need multi-levels. You need depth. You need people getting people. And average people don't do that. So again, if we just understand the main thing we're looking for is we're looking to build an ace. Let me also share this with my fellow friends who have low self-esteem like I used to. You are allowed to recruit what you are not. Okay, so if you, let's say, are part-time and you're not being able to work enough hours to generate a lot of revenue, you are legally allowed to recruit full-time people. And if you get enough full-time people on your team, they produce enough volume, guess what happens to your check? It gets big, and then you can go full-time. If you are shy and not outgoing, you are legally allowed to recruit outgoing, dynamic people. If you are short, you can recruit tall people. If you're male, you can recruit females. So don't look at what you are. If you're in school and you're a bad student, but let's say you're friends with the valedictorian, with the straight A guy or gal. When the test comes, can you go, hey, I'm friends with her, so I'm just going to take the test with her? You can't do that, right? That's called cheating. That's not allowed. So it's like you're on your own. If you're recruiting and building a team, you could suck at doing the business, but if you get 2 or 3 aces on your team, your income could be over $100,000 a month. So you're allowed to recruit what you're not. Here's the other mind. Like, people are like, well, I can't get someone like that until I am someone like that. And that is not the case. So I am going to start going through this shoe, and in a shoe this big, there's a lot of cards in here. Most decks only have 52 cards. You are never going to find a lot of aces with 52 flips. It's going to take a lot more than 52 flips. So mentally, you got to be willing to flip as many cards as it takes. Now, the problem is, again, you got Brother Wonderful on Instagram telling you he's going to teach you the hack, I love that, on how to become a millionaire in 9.5 minutes. I mean, I'm sure Tim Ferriss is a cool guy, but the whole 4-hour work week, in my mind, has screwed up more people's brains on what it takes to be successful. Try working 4 hours a week and see how good you get. Alex Hormozy just made, what, $100 million in a weekend? He didn't get there working 4 hours a week. I guarantee you that. He's a workaholic. So the work is really critical. So let's flip the cards. Most people are like, they flip one card. It's a 4. Okay, no problem. 2. Now, at this point, 4, 2, and 3, most people are going to quit. Here's what they're going to say. They're going to go, I just don't know how to flip cards. I think I'm doing it wrong. Doing it wrong? How do you do it wrong? Do you need to be an Olympic athlete to flip a card? You need to flip. Do you need to be do you need to be Tony Robbins to do a presentation? You're flipping a card. So you flipped 5 cards now, and I'm telling you, literally, this is what I've done for 37 years. People go, it doesn't work. The aces are all gone. The people who started in the beginning took all the aces. If you're in a company and you're on the ground floor of a company, may the force be with you. Being on the ground floor of a company is difficult. Like, okay, so now you go to this highway, right? When you leave here, you get on a nice highway. At one point, there were no highways. At one point, someone was hacking their way through a jungle, and then they got a dirt road, and that was the way it was for long. And then someone finally paved it. Then years later, it got beautiful, and there's lights on it, and the whole deal. Now, if you're in a company that's 15 years old, and it's super highways, and you're going, yeah, but I wish it was there in the beginning. I'm telling you, because I've been there in the beginning. No, you don't. Romantically, you think you wanted to be there in the beginning, but I guarantee you, a company like Amway doing $10 billion a year, the next time you say Amway doesn't work, slap yourself. $10 billion a year for decades, and the people there in the first year, 99.9% of them quit because there was no paved highways. And the misnomer that all the aces were taken by the people at the top is something quitters say. That's absolute horse crap. So here's to the quitters. So we flip another card. I'm fired. It's a queen. Ooh, I'm getting better. Now, am I really getting better at flipping, or was I just lucky that that was closer to an ace? 9, 6, 4, and that's it. Like, people in this kind of a business are on an emotional roller coaster. You're up, you're down. You get a new person. How many of you have ever recruited someone who said, I'm going to break every record in the company. You can retire on me. Then the next day they're supposed to come back at 9 o'clock in the morning for the fast start training. They don't show up. You call them, their phone is disconnected. Has that happened? Yeah, and it's like, then you're like, what did I do wrong? You picked up a 4. It's not your fault they're a 4. They're a 4. I know what some of you are saying right now. But what if I take the 4 and I motivate it? So I'm going to try this right now. This is live and in person. This is be an ace. Come on, be an ace. Yes, be an ace. Woo! Still a 4. Some of you are literally trying to motivate a 4 to be an ace. And for anyone like me who knows how this works, we are laughing our ass off watching you. It's not going to happen. A 4 is a 4. Imagine you're a football coach and you got a guy who you think is going to be the next All-American. And they start running out there, and they run like with their legs going, you're going, woo, they're in good shape, but they're the most uncoordinated person in the world, and their hands are like feet, meaning they can't catch a damn thing. So if you're the coach and you got someone who can't catch anything, and you keep in your mind thinking you're going to turn them into an All-American, are you a good coach or a bad coach? Part of being a coach is you've got to evaluate talent and or effort. See, there's an expression when I'm building a team, you work where you're deserved, not where you're needed. Now, a lot of people, yellows, woo, they hate that. They want to help everyone. They want everyone to get to the top. Everyone get to the top. Please name any profession where everyone gets to the top. I remember years ago, I was talking to George Bush Jr. George, George W. George, yeah. So George W., before he was president of the United States, he was president of the Texas Rangers. And I recruited a guy named Daryl who's in the NFL. And Daryl's dad and the Bush seniors were really close, so he grew up basically hanging out with George W. So he's like, you go to your Warren Market. He goes, well, I know George W. Bush. Should we talk to him? I'm like, hell yeah. So for those of you who would say, oh, no, he's already the president of the Texas Rangers. He's not going to do this. Again, you never know. Flip the card. King, I'm getting better. So I went to talk to George W. You know what? Turns out George W. is not a big network marketing fan. So we sat there for an hour and a half, and he just attacked me like every objection you've ever heard. He just hurled it at me. Finally saying, well, here's the bottom line. Isn't it true that only like 1% of all the people in any company make any kind of real money? And I'm like, yes, sir, that's definitely true. Just like real estate, just like insurance, just like everything. Let me ask you a question. You're the president of a baseball team, right? Yes. I go, what percentage of all the kids in Little League Baseball make it to the major leagues? I've got to be honest with you, George W. didn't have the answer. He just kind of stared at me. And I said, well, I have a buddy who played in the pros for a long time, and he told me the answer a long time ago. It's 1 out of every 30,000. So the Little League is a scam. You are building up these children's hopes and dreams, knowing that only 1 out of 30,000 is going to make it. You should go to jail for being a scammer. He smiled. He didn't like it, but he knew that was pretty clever. So the bottom line is there's no profession where everyone gets to the top. You're either bad, average, good, great, or elite. How many people in a profession do you think become elite? Do you think it's more than 1%? Because if you do, again, you got to stop hitting that industrial strength crack. That is not the case. It's 1%. 3% become great. It's a very small number. So when you are earlier Travis said, just keep swimming, just keep swimming, just keep swimming. That sounded silly. I agree. My mentor told me there's 3 rules when I got started. Anyone, if these are the simplest rules in the world, an idiot could follow them. Pay attention, get excited, never quit.
All right. Thank you, Liz. So let's talk a little bit about a couple of the things we heard, just to summarize. And then, I suggest that you get back with your mentor, your sponsor, maybe go over this. Maybe there's some things that you're doing. I know that I have done all of the things wrong. I know that many times I have worked with very, very high maintenance, low volume people, right? And I even remember my husband coming to me with a particular person and saying, they are just sucking the life out of you. You can't keep doing this. So what I did is I went back. I went back to them and I set the ground rules, because we're talking about people who came in. We're not talking about customers. We're not talking about people that, just are just hanging out with the community and using the product. We're talking about somebody coming in saying they want to build, they want to be coached, and then not really doing the income producing activities. So I said to this person, let me, we've talked a lot. You keep telling me this is what you want. Have you made your list? Have you made the list of people that you know that you want to go out and introduce them to the patch, to this life-changing technology? And so I asked this person to make the list. I said, when can you do that? They told me I can do that on Friday. I said, great. On Friday, I texted them before our meeting. I said, have you made your list? They said, no, because of this, and that. I said, no problem. When do you think you'll be able to make the list? Now, they had been in for quite a long time, saying they were going to do stuff, taking a lot of my time, my energy, while I'm trying to build an organization and while I'm trying to build a business, and really not producing, just being negative, just wanting to pull at my time and energy. So I went back and I said about the list. Now, when they said, I can do that next weekend. Great. Next weekend, no problem. I went about my way working with my other teammates, and I came back at the time, have you made the list? Well, it took about 4 different times before I stopped getting the phone calls. And that was okay, because she wasn't interested in building. That wasn't what she wanted. She just wanted my time and energy. And so I'm not saying that with my customers, 2s, 4s, if they're happy being there, we can love on them. We have community things, we have things that everybody can go to. Our intention is for them to get their desired outcome. So if their desired outcome is just to use product or to introduce it to just a couple of people, great. No problem at all. But meet them where they're at. When he talks about working where it's deserved, not where it's needed. Okay, so that is the people that are out there. They're putting you on 3-way calls. They're enrolling people. They're building their teams. They're asking coaching questions. They're trying to grow into an ace. It's very unusual to bring an ace in. So a lot of people want to grow to an ace. So when he says you can't turn a 4 into an ace, what he means is you can't motivate them. You can't want this more than they want it. So you can't motivate them into being something they don't want to be. Now, if they choose to be coached, they choose to go get coaching, mentoring, grow, learn, build their skills, then absolutely you pour yourself into that person, because you never know how far they're going to go, and they are putting in the effort. So it's that chess game. You make a move, I make a move, you make a move. So this is to help you develop where you're spending your time, because many of us, we all on this community in the Live Younger team, I'm wearing my Live Younger shirt, and on the Live Younger team, we love helping people. Most of us didn't come in here to sell someone a patch. We came in here to help them get their desired result. And so, but we have to understand, if we want to build an organization, if we want to build a team, and we want to get to good, great, elite, then we are going to have to know where we're spending our time. So if people are taking our time, that are not producing, don't want to grow, we have to be able to set those boundaries and work with the willing. Now, there's something called taprooting or working through someone. So when someone comes in, and the first thing you want to do is help them get their list, and you want to help them go out and talk to people or invite to Zooms, teach them, support them, help them, right? Because you want to get into their people, their list to see, do they have any aces or do they have any lower cards who are raising their hands and are coachable? You're working into their list, and you continue to work into people's list to find those people. Now, what most anybody will tell you who's been in relationship marketing for any time and has gotten to any type of success levels, they are going to tell you that the bulk of their income came from just a couple of legs, right? So you may have one, two really great legs, two people you brought in and you helped their people and their people and their people, and you moved down and you built organizations where most of your volume came from. And then maybe all your other volume is your customers. It's all your other people who just want to get enough money to give ballet lessons to their grandchildren, or they just want enough to make that car payment or just pay for the product. I want you to understand that we're not saying those other cards aren't valuable. Everybody brings value. And if you're going to be honest, your team, the masses, are most people. That's 98%, 99% of people are going to be the masses. That creates the vast majority of your volume in an organization, particularly when you're getting started. But as you grow, understand where you're working and work with the people who deserve your time, who are doing the income producing activities that are growing and that are moving forward. So for those of you that are new to the industry, and this is like, why am I even on here listening to this? Of course, when he's talking about flipping a card, he's talking about connecting with people. He's talking about you are going to need to connect with a lot of people. Connect with people, see if they're open, create curiosity, present to them, invite them to a Zoom, invite them to Doc Talk, invite them to the Live Younger Tuesday presentation, show them a video from the app, send them a video from the app, get your replicated website and send them your replicated website, maybe even jump on a Zoom with them and use your replicated website as your presentation so that they can get the information they need to make a decision that's best for them. That is all we're doing. We're sifting and sorting, and we are the consultants giving someone enough information so they can make a decision on what's best for them. At that point that you've done that, your next question becomes, what else do you need to know before we get you started? They're going to tell you one of two things. One is, I'm ready to go. Let's get started. Get them started. Don't send them another video. Don't try to go, well, wait, you got to get on a Zoom first or a three-way call. No, get them started. Get them on the product because the product works. And they're going to start to get their experience, their result, their story. So get them started. Then you can educate them. Then you can invite them to the other things to help them get educated and solid and move forward. So maybe they say, well, I need to know a little bit more about the science. Or, gee, I have one more question about how are athletes affected by this. And so now that gives you the opportunity to give them another piece of information. That might be another video from the Live Younger YouTube. It might be another video from the app. It might be something else on your Live Younger replicated site. It might be a three-way call with your sponsor or mentor. So there's different ways to do that, to move people down. So when you're talking about flipping a card, you're talking about how many people have you connected, how many people have you enrolled, and you will self-select out, and people will raise their hand that want to do this. You will put them into the process, and they either will or they won't. And what he's trying to tell you is that is not your fault. You are not doing anything wrong. You are just doing the process, and you just happen, as he said, to get a 4. And that 4 thought they wanted to do it, but their dreams weren't big enough. They didn't want to put in the work, and so they didn't do it. That has no reflection on you. That is who they are, right? You just keep putting people in, doing the process, and the people will show up and they will come. And meanwhile, you're always looking as you develop an organization down, the beauty of multi-level, you develop that organization, you're looking for the aces. And when you find them, you go down there and you work there. You work with them with where where it's deserved, not necessarily where you're needed. So with that, I think I want to kind of just leave it at that, let you kind of digest some of those pieces. And again, understand this is not about our customers. This is about if you are looking to build that organization, take a look at where you're spending your time and who you're giving your energy to. Your time, your energy is your most precious resource, and use it wisely with the people who really, really deserve it and want to work with you. So thank you, everyone. And I think we'll have Janet Kiefer next week. She'll be filling in for Robin and Gregory. And I just want to thank you all for taking the time to look at this, and have a wonderful evening. Good night.
Well, that was an awesome, awesome presentation. I don't know about you all, but I took several notes. And where Connie was referencing next week for Janet, that's for our Monday night training and update calls. So that's not this Thursday presentation. That will be this coming Monday evening. So with that, I want to thank everyone for joining, and we will see you on Monday. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you, Liz.
Thank you, Liz. That
Thanks,
was a
Liz. That was
you, Liz.
amazing.
Thank you so
Super
much.
inspiring.
thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you, Liz.
We couldn't report.
Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you, Liz. Thank you.
Well done.
Bye.
We can report to Robin and Gregory. We did really good today.
Okay. He
Great
texted me
job.
during the presentation. I
Oh,
said,
wow.
we're on right now.
Put a
Everyone's
card
inside.
game.
Okay. Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.